In the summer of 1940, the Nazi war machine seemed unstoppable. It had crushed Poland, swallowed Norway, and shattered France in just 6 weeks. The swastika flew over Paris. Only one island nation stood between Hitler and total domination of Europe, Great Britain. But the German army wasn't coming by land or sea, not yet. They were coming from the sky. If this island fell, the light of democracy in Europe would go out. This wasn't just a battle for territory, it was a battle for the soul of the Western world. Who were the players in this deadly duel? On one side, the Luftwaffe, led by Hermann Goering. They were the largest, most battle-hardened air force in the world, boasting over 2,500 aircraft ready to strike. On the other side, the Royal Air Force RAF, specifically Fighter Command, led by Air Chief Marshal Hugh Dowding. They were outnumbered, fielding fewer than 700 operational fighters. The stage was the airspace above southern England, and the English Channel, the first major military campaign in history, fought entirely in the air. What was at stake? Survival. Hitler knew the Royal Navy controlled the seas, making a German invasion codenamed Operation Sea Lion suicidal, unless they could destroy the RAF first. The German objective was simple: wipe out British air defenses, bomb airfields into dust, and clear the skies for a sea landing. For the British, what was existential: keep the planes flying, keep the pilots alive, and stop the invasion at all costs. When did this unfold? The battle officially raged from July 10th to October 31st, 1940. It began with probing attacks on shipping in the Channel, but the heat truly turned up on August 13th, Adlertag or Eagle Day, when the Luftwaffe launched massive, coordinated assaults on radar stations and airfields. For weeks, it was a war of attrition. Pilots slept in their flight suits, scrambling 5-6 times a day, often dying before sunset. The fate of the war hung in the balance during these critical weeks of late summer. Why did the tide turn? It came down to a fatal German mistake. In late August, the RAF was on its knees. Airfields were crumbling and pilots were exhausted. But on August 24th, a German bomber accidentally dropped bombs on London. Churchill retaliated by bombing Berlin. Enraged, Hitler ordered the Luftwaffe to switch targets from the critical RAF airfields to the city of London itself. This shift, known as the Blitz, was devastating for civilians, but it gave the RAF the breathing room it desperately needed to repair its bases and regroup. How did the underdog win? It wasn't just bravery, it was technology. The British had a secret weapon: radar. The Dowding System was the world's first integrated air defense network. Radar towers along the coast spotted enemy formations before they even crossed the Channel. Information flowed to operation rooms where WAAF's Women's Auxiliary Air Force plotted enemy movements in real time. This allowed the RAF to scramble their Spitfires and Hurricanes exactly where they were needed, maximizing their limited resources. They didn't have to patrol the whole sky. They just had to be where the Germans were. The climax arrived on September 15, 1940, now celebrated as Battle of Britain Day. The Luftwaffe launched their largest assault yet, believing the RAF was down to its last 50 planes. They were wrong. Every squadron was airborne. The sky over London turned into a swirling mosaic of contrails and fire. By the end of the day, the Germans had lost heavily, over 60 aircraft shot down compared to fewer than 30 for the British. It was a psychological and tactical defeat. Hitler realized the RAF had not been destroyed. 2 days later, he indefinitely postponed the invasion of Britain. The Battle of Britain was the first major defeat for Hitler's Germany. It proved the Nazis could be beaten. It preserved Britain as a base of operations for the eventual liberation of Europe. For years later, on D-Day, without those few hundred pilots, the map of the world would look very different today. As Winston Churchill famously summarized, "Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few, the shield of the sky had held."